Happy Monday. It's a happy any day, man. I don't know why people be miserable. It's happy any day. Darren, good to see you. We still having a meeting. I know you thought we weren't having it. We still having it. We here. We ain't always on time, but we always there when you call, as Ashanti used to say. Got Leroy coming in from England, Jasmine from Canada, Darren from Texas. Michael, where are you calling him from?
Victorville, California.
California. Cool, cool, cool.
It
It's
is. It's
long.
only 53 degrees out here right now.
It's not bad, man. Wait till it snows. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately, the ski resorts around us hog the snow. We just get the cold air.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Well, hey, I'm gonna go ahead. Angie, you already recording? You already started the meeting?
Let me, can you make me the host again?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, these Mondays be crazy, man. We got so many meetings that go on Mondays in the morning. Today I actually forgot we had the call. I said, oh shoot, this time came up quick.
It did.
Like, but I think the difference is we have our marketing meeting in the morning and we moved it from before the meeting to afterwards. So it smashes the time. But good to see everyone. Welcome to Speaker Co-working for Monday, April 28th. I'm Ron Story. I'm the head of marketing or something at Speaker Hub. I'm the head of speakers at Speaker Hub. I'm here with Angela, who's over operations. We run a team of about 42 people that make this thing go. We're actually going to be downsizing that team in about 3 days, which is pretty cool. A lot of our contracting contractors will be gone. When we bought the company, they had different contractors and things like that they were working with. Now our entire team is fully up to speed where we won't need half of them. So we're growing by getting smaller. So that's going to be cool. That should happen by the end of this week. So we'll be down to about 20 full-time people, 2 part-time, and 5 contractors. So we're going to get rid of about 15 contractors this week. So that should be good. It's better for me at least. But yeah, we're growing, man. We're trying to help you all to get on more stages. If you've been to our homepage anytime recently, you see we've updated the focus on what we do and we've updated our processes on how we do it. And we're focused on helping you all to sell more products and services using your voice. The AI takeover will replace, I think, almost everything. It'll have an opportunity to replace or enhance everything besides your own personal real life stories. So I think public speaking is one of the protected domains out there. I've heard podcasts that were AI generated, but they're just 2 computers passing information back and forth. They're not telling real life stories about what they're actually living, and that's what we learn the most. So we usually start by having people introduce themselves. So Michael, if you want to go ahead and make a quick introduction, and then we'll get into some of the wins that people have experienced over the last 3 days since we saw them.
I'm Michael Hinkson, or Mike is fine. I live in Victorville, California. We've lived here 9 years now. I've been a speaker ever since the end of 2001. On September 11th, 2001, I was working as the Mid-Atlantic Region Sales Manager for a computer company on the 78th floor of Tower 1 of the World Trade Center, and on September 11th, escaped with my guide dog, Roselle. So the story's been fairly visible, but we started getting phone calls from people asking me to come and talk about lessons we should learn from September 11th, as well as lessons about leadership and trust and teamwork and any number of different things, being blind. And so my wife and I, my late wife now, and I decided at the time that speaking and selling life and philosophy was a whole lot more satisfying and rewarding than managing a computer hardware sales team and selling hardware. So I switched to speaking full-time at the beginning of 2002, and I've been doing it ever since. So we've had challenges along the way, but we continue to do it and have a lot of fun doing it.
No, it's incredible. What an incredible story. What an incredible story. High five, man. Man, I'm sitting here. Just so many thoughts are going through my mind. So cool. Incredible story. Hopefully we can help you to get more gigs, be able to tell your story more.
Well, I
Um,
hope so. That's the plan. And
yeah,
there's a need to do it. My wife was in a wheelchair her whole life, and we ended up not being able to save a whole lot of money because things she needed dealing with wheelchairs and other things that insurance companies wouldn't pay for, we had to. So didn't get a lot saved. So not going to be retiring in the near future. So that's a good thing from a speaking standpoint.
yeah, we'll help you. I promise you. So, um, yeah, I would love to talk with you outside of here about some different things that we
Sure.
can do to help you. Yep. Any wins so far for this week? Any wins? Anybody got any
Yes.
wins since
Yeah, I've got one.
last Friday? Lawrence, what's up?
So yesterday I went on a podcast and we mainly talked about not only my life story of overcoming PTSD and learning how to essentially rewire the way I think and teaching that to other people. So that was a great story to share with them. And the podcast host actually said she was going to reach out to you because she wants to do speaking engagements as well.
Mhm.
And she also wants to host a speaker event.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, I
if
would love
you'd
to
like,
meet
I
her.
can, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
just
send you her email.
yeah, feel free to connect us on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really, really good. I get about 1,700 emails a day in between my 4 email accounts.
Okay,
So
yeah, you probably
that
wouldn't have
probably ain't
seen
the
her.
best way to contact me.
Hey,
Um,
hi Lawrence, that's me. I'm the podcast host.
oh, Coach Lynn, what's up? Good to see you.
Thank
You,
you.
you
Nice
want
to
to
be
introduce
here.
yourself? You came in at the end of introductions when we were talking about wins. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone here, we'll go from there.
Sure. Okay. My name is Vermeline McCracken. I'm actually a life coach, a life purpose coach, and I've been doing this now for a few years. I also started my podcast in Living Purposely on Purpose in January, and we're now in 14 countries. And I bring amazing guests on to tell their stories, like I did Lawrence. Thank you for reaching out to me. He has an amazing story. And I'm working on right now a virtual speaker event with two other young ladies. It's my first time doing this. It's like a huge thing that I'm trying to create and bring forth July 20th. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. There's a lot, and I'm at work right now. So
Okay.
I just
No, that
wanted to
makes sense.
jump in.
No, I'm glad you opted in. We have 63,500 speakers that are available. So we'll get you an organizer account where you can start posting about your event. Also, you can do it. You know, we did our first event, our first virtual event last October. We did it on 4 weeks' notice, and it worked. You know, you'll be surprised who shows up if you just offer them the opportunity. So, keep going.
Thank
You
you
know,
so much. I
yeah,
mean, honestly, once I heard about this and he told me it's 12 o'clock on Mondays, I said, I'm gonna be at work, but I'm a jump on because I need to be in spaces that are doing these type of things with individuals that are on that same mindset, because that's where I want to go. Speaking is something that I've been interested in doing for the past year. And I said, why am I waiting for to be invited? I'm just gonna start my own
that's it.
thing. I can't just keep waiting. So that's why I started it.
Oh yeah, no, way to go. Yeah, I mean, this is the place. We're here Monday through Friday, and if you can't make it because of work, you can always catch a recording. You can people text me their questions beforehand or email their questions in just to make sure that they get their questions answered. So we're always going to be here for you. And um, you know, Gustavo is making the data transition now. That process started today with the migration over to the new speaker hub. So we'll even have the live feed that'll be live very soon where you'll be able to comment on posts and make posts to each other directly inside a speaker hub. Right now, you can't talk to each other, but eventually you'll be able to talk just like you can on LinkedIn. So that's coming. We're doing the migration today. So that's a big upgrade for us. So welcome aboard, Coach Lynn. And any other wins? Anybody else got any wins since last week?
Yeah, man, it's super cool. I think you guys may remember about a month or so ago, I was on a podcast and lady really wanted me to work with her son one on one, and that's been going so well that it moved from just her son now to a group of 6 kids. He brought his friends on to our little scheduled Saturday calls, and we having a group like little session mastermind meeting with me and these little 18-year-old kids, and it's pretty cool, man. I got them right now all reading Think and Grow Rich, the book, and each week we're discussing chapters that they're reading and really having some round robins about it. So I'm wasn't really anticipating on launching my coaching business just now, but it's off and rolling. So I'm excited about that.
Hey man, I'll tell you one thing I learned is the power of availability. It's amazing what happens when you finally make yourself available, even if it's just for one person. And it's like, oh, you do that? Yeah, okay. And you're like, wait, I should have did this a year ago. You
Yeah.
realize the heck was I waiting on? I'm going to tell you all a good story. Let's go to AJ, and I'm going to come back to a story that I learned on my own, and I don't think we talk about it enough. And but we'll talk about it. AJ, go ahead.
All right, so this is actually a win for me. It's actually a win for Lawrence, because he does talk about what he does with speaking. I had a podcast guest who runs this organization called Biz Kids, and he said he was looking for some young entrepreneurs to speak to the kids about business, and I was like, yo, I know somebody. So Lawrence, I need to get your email address so I can connect y'all to, because he's excited about having you come speak on this podcast.
Yeah, that's dope. Look, that's what this is about, man. It's
Thank you. I
community.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, this is all about relationships, man. I mean, you're not in business without relationships. Relationships with your customers, with your employees, even a positive mental relationship with yourself. Like, to stick in this thing is tough, right? Business is already hard. And then so use the relationships, guys. We're going to open up even more for you. Again, we're going to open up 64,000 speakers will be in the social network once we add that feature to your speaker pages in the next couple of weeks. The migration again has started already, which is pretty cool. But I want to tell you an interesting story. So in manufacturing, they use a process called just-in-time manufacturing, meaning that the stuff shows up at the factory when they need it. Like if you go to Toyota, they don't have like a whole warehouse full of tires, right? They got just as many tires as they need for today. And then you know what's going to show up tomorrow in the trucks? The tires they need for tomorrow, and the fenders that they need, and the windshields that they need. They're going to show up just in time, right? And I think sometimes in life, when we're starting a business, we forget how much of it happens just in time. And we start to lose faith and we get nervous when things don't happen on our time, right? We're like, man, I want this to happen by this date. And when it doesn't happen by that date, we quit. But 4 days later, it happens right when we needed it. And we're like, oh man, and it's like, oh man, why don't I just keep working and stop worrying? Right? Let me just keep working and stop worrying. My time don't matter to the creator, to God, or whoever, everybody else. My customers don't care about my time, my deadlines. Y'all don't care about my deadlines. Y'all care about y'all's. Right? So we just got to keep being faithful to what we're doing because we just never know. And a lot of times we think, oh, it needs to be perfect before we can start. No, John could have started coaching a year ago. John has enough life experience, enough professional respect for being a professional athlete, enough. Look, anybody who's made it as a professional athlete as the top 1% or less than 1% of their profession can teach discipline, can teach resilience, can teach people how to show up, right? And if there's one thing that young people need, it's somebody to show them that you can just show up, right? Like, yo, if you just show up every day, you will be all right. The problem is that you got to do it every day for 5 years. You got to do it every day for 10 years. How many years you play football for free, John?
Shit. Excuse me.
Exactly. Exactly. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
20 years. I'm thinking starting at 7. Well, no, 15 at least.
15 years for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ange, how long you play basketball for free before you became a professional basketball player?
10.
From 8 to 18 or from 12? When did you go pro?
Yeah.
You didn't go pro till you was
12,
20 something.
20, 21.
So you started at 11.
I started at 12 actually, so 9 years. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's still long time, right? A lot of practice. Kevin, while you eating, did you get you won Golden Gloves the first year you started boxing? How many years?
I started boxing probably 4 years before that, with my brothers beating me up until I figured I was good enough.
There it is, right? 4 years. Anybody do it in 3 days? Yeah, exactly. Look, man, it takes time. But we take a speaking course and we a professional speaker in 3 days. The hell out of here. You got a story. You ain't a professional yet. You speaking, right? But you're getting better, and that's okay. It's okay. So we added a new process to our onboarding, right? So now whenever someone signs up, and if you all, a lot of you already have this with the speaker score, we gave you a speaker status months ago, but now we've made that a part of the onboarding. So you know that thing I showed you the other day with the 6 different fields on the spreadsheet, we've included that when someone signs up for Speaker Hub, that's the first score that they get. And we realized that that was needed more than ever because of what it takes to even be a speaker. Now, I believe that in order to be a business person, you got to have 3 things going for you. And these are the 3 things that make it work. Number 1, you got to have arrogance. You got to believe that you can do it better than the person that you saw doing it before. The second thing is that you're probably going to be incompetent. Okay? You got to be willing to start before you're good at it. Right? And the third thing, you're going to be underfunded. It always takes longer and more money than what you thought it would take to leave your job to become a speaker. I don't care what they told you, they lied. Right? So we started putting that information out front. Like, you know how everybody else hides it? We said, what if we just put this on the homepage? What would people do if we just told them right off the bat that your coach was lying to you? Our applications went up. We made this change to the homepage. The number of people who signed up went up. Bananas what happens when you tell people the truth. Right? We straight off the bat, hey, yo, you know, less than 10% of speakers ever make $50,000 and only 3% ever get to 6 figures. You know, 75% of speakers don't even do 10 gigs a year. 49% of them charge less than $1,000 per gig. Our number of registrations went up after telling them the truth. Bananas. But those are the things that make it work, right? You got to believe that you're good enough, even when you're not. You got to see the future before everybody else, right? So you got to believe that you're good enough. You got to get started in order to get good enough. So you're definitely incompetent at the beginning, right? Unless you got a rich uncle, you probably quitting your job too soon. So we tell you, hey, don't quit your job. Just start doing some podcast guesting and doing some speaking while you're still at it, because 80% of speakers don't, they're part-time. I don't care what they tell you on the internet, they doing this part-time. They not full-time speakers. They act like it, but they got a job underneath. If you know how many speakers have reached out to me asking me to hire them at Speaker Hub in the last 10 months, but on the internet, they $18,000 a day speakers. So we said, oh, wait. Let's just tell people the truth. So you all know, as of when was it, last Thursday, I was doing 15 to 20 interviews a day for speakers. And in those interviews, I learned that there are a lot of people that are hurting that are speaking. And it's unfortunate because they're the motivators. But a lot of it is built on false bravado. And they wonder why people don't buy or why people won't hire them. It's because they smell McDonald's when they're bragging about Ruth's Chris. We can smell it when you're not real. We can smell it when you haven't lived it. We know when you don't have the results. Everybody knows. We're human lie detectors. We know when somebody's BSing us. So I'm hearing all this false bravado. And you'll be surprised how many times I would get off a call and I would call my team and I would say, dude, I just got cursed out by somebody because we don't do it the way they want it. And they got to pay their mortgage. And they telling me it's my fault. They can't pay their bills. And I'm like, dude, like, relax. I'm the person that can help you, but you can't punch me in the nose and then say, help me. Right? They don't want to come to the calls. They don't want to tell us about what they're doing, how they're doing it, but they want our help. And we're like, okay, how do we work with the right folks? But what if everybody was the right people? They just hadn't been coached properly. They just haven't been shown an example of how you actually lead with integrity. That it's okay for you to not be perfect, Darren, or Kevin, or Jadika, or John. That's why people follow folks. We want to follow the people with the bruises. The person with the battle scar showed me that they not only were in a fight, but they won. I don't want the person that ain't never fought. I want the person that's fought and won. We talked about the diamonds on Friday, right? How do you determine a diamond from a cubic zirconia? It's the flaws. So we're just gonna start showing the flaws, right? We've done it a lot already. We just like, oh, here's what we are. This is what we doing. Look at this change we made. But we're gonna start talking about it a lot more because we believe that that's the difference between us and AI. It's the human part. So at Speaker Hub, are we arrogant? Yes, we are, but we have reason to be, right? It's not arrogance if you're just reporting your results. So far this year, you guys have booked 4,432 meetings with event planners since January 1st. Not Speaker Hub, y'all. You, Speaker Hub Pro members, have booked 4,432 meetings with event planners. So far, our lead pitcher is Sayron. Sayron has sent 5,300 pitches since she became a member in August. She would have sent more. She just didn't have no more. That's all she had. She ain't got no more. Like, she has no more credits. Like, well, when I looked, she was at her credit limit. 50. She only get 400 a month or whatever, but she sent 5,200. This is y'all. This is your work. 4,430 some meetings. That is bananas. Now, whether y'all took the gigs or whether you got the gig or whatever, you started 4,400 conversations to change people's lives. A lot of y'all weren't ready. Y'all weren't. Y'all were like, I don't know what to do. I got this podcast coming up. Exactly. You were arrogant and you were incompetent, but yet you still kept going. You weren't ready, but you went out there. Right? Some of y'all told me, oh, I bought Speaker Hub and this is my last hope. I done put enough in all these other coaching programs. If this don't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, just do it. And if it don't work, I'll give you your money back. but it's working. So I wanted to just start with that celebration of the work that you all have done. I know it's cool. We built cool software and all that, but to hell with that. As John said, that don't mean shit. That's the word John used earlier. It don't mean shit. You know what matters? The work that you all are doing. So thank you for allowing us to empower you all to be able to reach out and start more conversations about the work that you've been doing. Right? And we got a lot of more cool stuff we're going to be doing. But I wanted to cover those three things because I think sometimes we think we need to be perfect. Again, arrogant, incompetent, and underfunded. Those are the traits of the best entrepreneurs. They believe they can do better. They start before they're ready, and they usually are using a last dime. They taking a risk and betting on themselves. But just have the faith. Keep going. We'll support you in any way we can. Darren, I saw your hand go up. Mr. F42 himself.
That's me, baby. That's me. Had a quick question. When hearing about Saran's success, I really have been intrigued about hiring an assistant, obviously a virtual assistant, to just help with more of a who than how, right? So just kind of wanted to, not only hear from you, Ron, but maybe some other people who are in an emerging status, if they've hired an assistant and how it has helped you, not only from the podcast game, but association and just your daily operation.
I'll answer last. I'll let you all go. Whoever wants to contribute to that, and then I'll give you my opinion on that.
Hi, I can share.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi everybody. I recently hired a virtual assistant, and I had to be clear with myself before I hired them about what it was that I wanted them to accomplish and how long I actually needed them. So I think the mindset around a virtual assistant is somebody who I always have around, to help me with things that I need, but I don't need that expense, and I don't need them all the time. So I created my ideal customer avatar, and it helped me understand who it was that I was trying to reach. So I have a list of, you know, gosh, 5,000 universities all around the world. And I started, pinpointing who at those universities I wanted to talk to. So they helped me compile that list. And in that list, then I can start creating my offers. So, you know, in in addition to Speaker Hub and, making pitches to be on podcasts, I also wanted to identify my targeted audience so that I could actually reach out and be hired by these people who are relevant to my field and increase my credibility.
I think that's good advice. AJ, you put something in the chat.
Oh yeah, for me, I hired one, and so I go through phases where sometimes I feel like working, sometimes I don't. So one of the things that the assistant has helped me with is like they gonna work regardless because I'm paying them. So it makes sure that when I fall into my ebbs and flows of energy, like I'm still gonna stay on track because they're gonna keep doing the work regardless. Like no matter how I feel, people are on my calendar. I have to serve them. So it's helped me out a lot, just making sure I don't fall off.
No, I think that's really important. Yvette?
Yes, I have had a VA on my team, and I redirected her specifically to Speaker Hub. She's not just making my appointments, but making sure that I'm not tied up with making sure that I'm available on those days, like having the conversation. So I'm just basically showing up. It's also a great test as well, since she is part of my disability community, to see how easy it is for her to use Speaker Hub and to access the different areas of expertise where I fit, whether it be a conference or a podcast. So she's having a lot of fun and excited about using a new tool. And I am excited about not having to have the conversation back and forth on availability and content that's usually required before getting on a podcast. So she created for me what's called a yes kit, um, and which is like a media kit, but it includes all the things that is required after the client has said yes, like headshots and contracts or whatever's needed. So the transition between interest and entry is pretty smooth. So doing that with Speaker Hub has been a joy for her because it's such an easier path than what we've done before. So
No, that's a big deal. Yvette, thank you for sharing. Jasmine.
Like I said, I know we talked about doing the emails. I mean, I need an assistant just to keep up with the requests from, that I'm getting from LinkedIn for services. But I'd like to ask the people online, what screening process they went through. It doesn't have to be that because I don't have that much to do. I mean, I like doing the Speaker Hub part myself. This is in control. So sorry, I just gotta. It's election day in Canada, and everybody's calling to say, "Are you going to vote? You're going to vote. You're going to vote." In AJ and Dr. Yvette, as you just spoke right now, things like getting the one page run, and I would really like to. I just send a note to Andrea. I couldn't find the framework on the weekend, so I have to. Since the LinkedIn Live that I've done, I've got like 3 requests. I don't know. Didn't even see these people on the LinkedIn Live, but these are requests that are coming through to me to say they want a one page from me. So I think I might definitely have to lean towards an assistant, which is is a testament to Speaker Hub. I tell her that right now, because I wouldn't be out there on this social media thing and the podcasting and all that stuff. So this is what being on Speaker Hub here, it's catapulting me over there where now I need help. So you're ready for Speaker Hub. So if anyone can answer for me how there's, you know what, this is not that platform, Ron, because I know you have a lot to teach. Maybe I can connect with these guys after and we can talk about assistance so you can continue doing what you need to do. How about that?
No, I think
The
that's
one page, I like that. I like that thing today.
So there's a couple things I want to talk about that I think that we're doing that's going to make it so much easier for you guys. So let's think about what an assistant is, right? So when we teach our space framework, right, you need a system, you need a process, and you need accountability in order to get consistent engagements, right? A system, a process, accountability in order to get consistent engagements. Now, what's the system? Right? The system is the flywheel, right? So if you don't believe in the flywheel, your assistant will just be pitching you to random stuff. Okay? So now you have the system. Okay, I think that this is the system or the strategy that we should be following. The strategy is the flywheel. But then now I need a process. I need something that I know I should be doing on a daily basis, right? So if I'm going to be pitching 5 podcasts, 5 associations, 5 conferences, 5 media outlets on a daily basis, I need my process. The third part is accountability. Here's the thing, guys, if you don't understand the strategy of the flywheel and you've never pitched for yourself consistently, how can you ever hold them accountable? Ange and everybody else on my team, I don't see anyone else on here right now. They'll all tell you, I know their jobs. Because before I hired them, I did it. Right? I didn't do it very well, but I did it. I designed logos. I built our webpage. I built emails. I did everything but code. I even tried that. And I said, I can't do that. Right? But now with AI, I have no problem spinning up something code-wise and sending it over to the team. This is what it should look and function like. Right? So I bring that up, Darren, is to say a lot of people try to skip, especially in entrepreneurship. They try to skip and they say, I'm just going to hire someone to sell for me. Good luck. Go ahead and just write your ticket to hell because it's going to be the worst day of your life. If you've never sold before, you're going to train somebody else on how to sell. You don't even know how to find a good salesperson if you ain't never sold before yourself. If you can't sell your product, your salespeople ain't going to respect you because they know you don't have no courage.
Absolutely. I don't want anyone selling for me at all. I do
Right?
all my pitching and all my response right here.
But again, there's no problem with having other people selling for you, but you had better be willing to pick up that daggone phone or send that email or have that conversation yourself. If you don't believe me, ask Andrea. Andrea, and I'm not picking on Andrea, this is a self-confessed thing that she brought up on Friday, is that she outsourced the sales and she ended up getting $1,000 for a gig that was paying $6,000 because she outsourced the part that was hard. So meaning she went and worked for a company that was reselling her services for 6 times more than what they were paying her. What ends up happening in companies where the salesperson is more courageous than the entrepreneur, in 4 months, he's a competitor. I've seen it. I've watched it. We see it all the time. The director of sales becomes your biggest competitor, and you say, he stole my idea. You don't believe me? Look at the turkey leg hut down in Houston. The lady had to burn down the dude's building last week. She done set his daggone, the head cook went and started his own thing down the street. Took all their business. They done went bankrupt. Now they done set fire to his thing. He had the recipes. All I'm saying. So moral of the story is, in order to get the right person, you need to be able to hold them accountable and demonstrate that you lead from the front. Does that make sense? So here's one of the things that we did. When we hired our core team, I work every day. You know what I asked them to do? I ain't never asked them to work every day. But you know what I did? I would hit them up on the weekends. Hey, you available for this? They don't respond. Cool. No problem. But I got that note. They're not required to work on the weekend. But when I'm looking for my go-to ride or die folks, who you think I'm calling? They know who they are. The folks that don't reply to me on the weekend ain't got no problem with you. High five. You are doing your job. But I got my hitters, as the song say. I got my folks. And every once in a while, they get a little bit more on their check because they came through when I needed them to come through. Some of my ideas that I get on Friday night can't wait till Monday morning. Right? So I'm a firm believer. This is contrary to what everybody else will teach you. I don't think you should hire a virtual assistant. I think you should send the pictures yourself. Tell you why. Send the pictures yourself until you can afford to hire your next operations manager. Because if you hire a virtual assistant first and then you make some more money, then you go hire an operations person, they're going to be jealous that you hire someone to tell them what to do. Does that make sense, Darren? So I'm a believer your first hire is your manager.
And it's true, folks, because when I just started at Speaker Hub, I didn't know Ron's personality. I didn't know if, how he'd react to me, but I had this brilliant idea on a Sunday afternoon. And I sent out a text. I think I heard from before, don't send me an email. I sent out a text and damn, he responded. I'm saying, ouch. I was kind of petrified,
Yeah. I mean, and guess what? When I get a message from somebody and say, hey, I replied to support and they ain't get back to me. Psst, what? We're going to put this in the chat, right? We about to talk about this one. How is it that I get this message before I get to y'all and y'all in the support inbox? But I did support myself. So I know that it should never make it to me 8 layers back. So all I'm saying is, Darren, I'm a firm believer, bust your behind to get the person you need versus the person you can afford. Let me say it again. Bust your behind to get the person you need instead of the person you can afford. So I'll give you the hiring that we did at Speaker Hub. My first employee was my CTO. I needed a developer. His name was Santiago. That was years ago. When Santiago left, he left me with 2 employees that weren't qualified to be leaders. So I had to fire them too. And I had to hire Ezekiel. When I hired Ezekiel, I said, Ezekiel, we're growing fast. If you're afraid of growing fast, you're going to hate it here. Let me know right now, but we're going to build you out a team in the next 3 months. Ezekiel looked at me in my face. He says, I never run a team, but I believe in you, and I believe that I can do it if you just teach me. In 3 months, we had 4 more developers on our team that he hired himself. He learned to interview and hire. He messed up some of them, but it's okay. That's how you get better. Okay, my dev team is right. Yo, I need somebody to run the rest of this company. Got to have somebody that if I'm not here, it shouldn't feel like I'm not here. Ange and I had a conversation about what she was doing in her business. She had 3 employees. Ange, you want to bring them over here? I'll take all 4 of y'all to run this part of the business, the marketing and the operations part. You know what she said? Sure, let's do it. Boom. Now I got my product team and I got my sales and marketing team. But you notice I hired the managers first. Now, let me tell you why. Because when Ange or someone on the team needs to hire someone else, they hire those people. Because if they don't perform, I'm firing all of them. You hired this idiot. It's your fault. You approved him. Does that make sense? Accountability starts at the top. It's impossible to hire someone and then put someone on top of them. They won't respect you. They will leave. Trust me. Okay, but that's my thoughts. I think you eat dirt until you can afford the person you need. Darren, we can talk outside of here so I can show you how to do that. You could do that on a very high level without having to pay outrageous prices, right? But you got to get it right because this person is your right arm. I have no doubt that if I got sick or something happened to me, unfortunately, that Speaker Hub should still go. This meeting should never not happen, right? The Stripe account should still work. The products that we have planned should still be in development because I've put the people in place that's their job. Now, were they timid at first? Yeah. Maria didn't want to hire nobody. Year and a half, she wanted to do it all. She working 19 days a week. I'm like, Maria, this ain't going to work. But no, I got it. No, Maria, I hear you. You ain't got to impress me. I was already impressed when we got you. Now we need you to be more effective. Dude, she done hired 3 people. Bananas, the best thing ever. I'm like, you see what I'm talking about? She's like, yeah, I should have listened to you. But that's part of leadership. I couldn't force people on her. Does that make sense? So I'm just telling y'all, don't listen to these idiots out here telling you, get the cheapest person that can just click the button. You're going to spend all your life telling them what to do. You're like, I could have just did this shit on my own. I ain't got to sit there and wait. I got to keep telling them what to do. They just sitting there looking at me like this with nothing to do. It ain't their fault. It's your fault. Right? Does that make sense? So you want to hire the person. Here's the cool thing. Watch this. If someone is straight out of college and they've never done anything regarding executive assistant work before. Now they could be in another country, they could be in the US. Right? Yeah, there's John's word of the day. That's the title of this speech today. Right? If I said, hey, I need you to get me booked on some podcasts, do you think they know where to start? Darren, you think they know where to start?
No, they
no
probably
idea.
just know how to push buttons. That's it.
Yeah, they're like, well, what do I do? I mean, they have no clue on what to do, right? Now, if they're under 21, unless it's an app on their phone, they really don't know what to do. Because they use everything on the phone and Speaker Hub ain't an app. So they confused, right? But let's take it another step. Imagine if it was someone that had already done sales and marketing before. And you said, hey, we use a company called Speaker Hub that to get booked on podcasts. I need you to do some outreach for me. Do you think you have to give them more details? Not as much as the person who is lost. You may have to get them your passwords or whatever to log in, but they smart enough to get in, watch the videos, figure out how to do it, know that follow-up is a part of sales, all these things. Does that make sense? So you want someone you don't have to every day say, did you see your 15 today? If you got to say that, you are screwed. Did you do your thing? Dude, I can just look and see. I ain't about to sit here and pester you. And I don't want to hear the excuses when you didn't do it. Does that make sense, Darren? So I wanted to beat that horse since it came up, because we make the mistake of hiring what we can afford instead of what we need. And it costs you more in time and energy. Right? Okay, Janika.
Ron, I wanted to share with you that I'm in total agreement about the virtual assistants. I mean, I've gone that route, so there's pros and cons to it. But I think that it's important for you, just like you said, to go through every process and learn it yourself so you know how to do it. What has happened with me as I've grown my business for these number of years, I've had the opportunity to do one thing that you've done where you're doing with Lawrence. I work with young people and I bring them in, you know, like it's volunteer, but then I move them into paying, but it's about training. And so one of the things after I have gone through doing all the pitching and doing all of the follow-ups, I realized in order for me to be a lot more effective now, I need someone who's just going to do the follow-ups. I will continue to do the pitching. And I've just brought a young lady in. And what I did is I put together a documented training program of how to do the follow-ups. And then I took her on a Zoom training call, but I gave her the written to look at it, to understand it. So then we did the Zoom training call for her to be able, for me to go through her step by step in terms of how to do the follow-ups. And this is to give her introduction into if this is something she may want to do later on. But I'm dealing with young people because technology is their world and they can grasp it. And that's big. And I like that following. I told you I'm following your business plan. That's how I'm structuring my business. And so in terms of if you're looking for a virtuous, I know that what I needed that was slowing me down is being able to pitch and do follow-up. So if I can give her just the follow-ups, because I know what to do to pitching. I can't teach her how to pitch for me in terms of what I'm looking for. But I just wanted to share that in terms of, and that came through a conversation I had with Angela. So I'm growing up. That's another step to me stepping up the ladder.
Oh, 100%. Ange was 100% better at me than SOPs. I could drive business. Ange could make it work, right? So I'm like, dude, if I could just get her to come on, she got all these documents and this. I'm like, I ain't got time to make this crap. She got whole files. Here's what we say in this. And I'm like, dude, this is giving me a headache, right? But she looked at the sales stuff like, this is giving me a headache, right? I don't want to deal with the marketing, the sales, the accounting, the responsibility. I don't want to deal with any of that. I just want to make it look pretty and make it work. Cool. So find the people that
By
you
the way, the
need.
marketing email you sent out this weekend was awesome. I've got
cool.
I've got calls from people who one from Jamaica, well, they're seeing it all over. I mean, I don't know who these people are. I'm getting a thing. Oh, I see that you're in, you know, a Speaker Hub Pro, because I guess there's a little video there. But I'm a little superstar this weekend from Ron's marketing.
How cool is that, right? Wait till we send this email. We got an email going out in a couple of weeks to our 10,000 organizers, introducing everyone from Speaker Hub Pro. This second quarter of the year is around us building out the organizer side of the business. We spent the last 9 months building out the speaker side. right? But now we got to let that ladder sit and go to the organizer side and introduce you guys to these organizers, because the community won't mean much if it's just a bunch of speakers kind of having height measuring contests. We need the engagement with the organizers that can bring you all in, because pitching isn't the most important thing. Pitching is the hardest thing, but it should be your last resort, right? Let me tell you, you pitch when you don't have referrals, right? You rely on referrals when you don't have a network of people that are already coming at you. So we're teaching you all pitching because that's the hardest. But now when we build a network, then you go to referrals, right? And then as you build that notoriety, people start coming directly to you. There's a process to what we're doing. This isn't, but if we start on the front side, then everybody like, well, but I didn't get this, and you gave them more than what you gave me. Shut up. If you ain't willing to pitch yourself, why should I give you anything? If you ain't willing to do the surveys to get better and to be the thought leader that you're wanting to be, why should we give you anything? We don't owe you anything. Only thing we owe you is that the software works when you log in. But we add all these other things because we believe in you. I remember when people didn't believe in me. Right? I remember when they, oh man, no, you should just stick to this. Shut up. Don't project your limitations on me, player. You know? So let's see. Is this still important for our what?
She says, Ron, is it still important for our speaker profiles to be highly searchable on Google? My profile is currently less than 50% complete. Would that affect our speaker search ranking
Yes.
on Google?
Yeah, because right now we set a new rule that if you don't have at least 50, if it ain't over 50%, we don't even let you turn it on. We'll turn it off. Why? Because it makes us look bad, right? So in the new version of Speaker Hub, there's a meter that will show you how much your profile is
Okay,
complete at all times.
so now on the old one, I still have to make it at least 50, right? On the old one, the
Yep.
Speaker Hub. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, because I think it's by adding more info, right? Like
Yep. Yeah, it's
more
adding more
attachment.
info and
Okay,
more photos
I
and
will
things
do
of
it
that sort.
tonight. Okay,
Yep.
okay,
But
great. Thank
so
you.
there's a migration that we're making of that over. So
Okay.
but it's going to be incredible. Add as
Okay.
much stuff as you can, but we're going to be making that transition. That's what we're working on now. But I
Great.
want to share something with you that has been requested for a long time. It'll make it a lot easier for y'all not to need VAs. And I was hoping I could find it. I was looking for it here in the background, but I can't seem to find it. Let me see. We got a new thing that comes out this week, and it may be the most requested feature that we've had. Let me see something. I think it in review UI UX. 1 second here. Starting next week, you will actually be able to see your responses directly in your Speaker Hub. Can you have Maria hop on? Edge in the background. See if she's available. I want Maria to show this to you because it's the first time that we're making this available, and it's something that we get requested all the time. So imagine when you send a pitch and someone replies, the reply just automatically is nested right in your inbox. Right now, we don't have those in there, only for Microsoft. But for Google and for every other one, we're turning that on next week. So instead of having to go and mark it as sent and all of that, if you use this particular feature that we're introducing, it will automatically put people in conversation and put them right where they need to be. If Maria can hop on, we'll be able to show this to you. I can't find it. Again, they keep secrets from me over here. I don't be knowing where these things are in our feature box. But if I can find it, I will share it with you. but it is bananas. They demoed it this morning on the call. I just can't see it. So, but yeah, no, this is a good conversation today to have. There's nothing like doing the work and following up on your own, because you know when your employees BSing you. Like you can spell it out right at the beginning, and it helps you to find the person you need, not just the person you can afford. It's amazing the work that gets done when you have a competent person and the things that they can build and the systems that they can build to make you more efficient. I can't be more grateful than for what our team has done. Did Maria respond, Ange? Okay, all right. So I wish I could show this, but I can't. So we're kind of handicapped. But the moral of the story, it will be available like very soon. And I saw it today in
She's popping in now. She didn't respond, but here she is.
Okay, cool. Maria.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good to see you. I don't have access to the Figma file that shows the new mailbox configurations with IMAP.
With IMAP, okay.
Can you share that? So right now, up until now, we've only allowed people to connect their Microsoft or Gmail accounts. Starting this week, you'll be able to connect any email account that's based on your domain from the outside. Which file is this in? The app? Oh, I don't have that one, do I? Okay, I couldn't find this.
Yeah, it is one email account display. It's still
Okay.
in progress. Yeah.
Cool. So now you'll be able to connect IMAP. In the past, you could only connect Microsoft Outlook, right? Now, what does this mean? Scroll over a bit, Maria, to the next slide. So what you're going to see is in Google now is going to say, do you want thread sync? Right? And thread sync is that when you send an email, the replies come in and you can see all of your replies in one right in your mailbox. You don't have to keep going from back and forth. When you log in, we will go and pull those emails in and sync them up for you automatically. So there's no more needing to manage inside of your Gmail and inside of SpeakerHub, or inside of your Microsoft and inside of SpeakerHub. It'll all be managed right in. You see underneath, it says, great when you need a quick setup and you can skip the full threading, right? You can always switch it later. Over here, we only track the email conversations you send from the app, ideal for teams that need full transparency. So if you want to see if Jasmine, let's say I reached out, I sent the first pitch, but Angela followed up because she manages my mailbox. I can look and see if Angela followed up and what she said. Does that make sense? Before I send another email and we're like, oh, shoot, I didn't know Angela had already said something. So this is thread sync is what we're calling it. Make sense? Probably the most requested feature. There was one I fought against, but y'all won.
Does it go back in history, or is it just from the day it launched forward?
I'm not sure yet. I'll have to ask Miguel that.
Okay.
But even if it doesn't go back in history, everything going forward will be good. It'll save you a lot of time going forward. AJ has been asking for this for a long time. So yeah, finally, finally. We used to have it up until 2022, and then Google changed the rules, so we had to turn it off. Can you scroll over to the right a little bit more? The other right.
This is the flow for connecting with the app password, and it's just via IMAP. So
Yep.
it's.
Can we show the inbox with the nested message, with the threaded message? See you later. Guys, we're in overtime. We're at 8 minutes into overtime. I don't know if they have that, if you've mapped that out.
No, we don't have with the new mailbox. No, we don't have it yet because it's just going to appear within the reply.
Okay, but when they
tab.
click on the actual to finish the conversation, where does the email show up in the conversation?
No, for now we don't have that on the mailbox. So
Oh,
it's
that's
going
gonna
to be, yeah, the same mailbox tabs.
Gotcha. We'll talk about it after this because I think we're missing something. Maybe there's a miscommunication. But if we're going to be doing IMAP and we're pulling in the replies, we should be able to show it should be in here. So it'll just be in this window here.
Yes, it's going to appear as the reply one. Let me to the,
Okay, perfect. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you more about it in detail so I don't say anything wrong on the call now. But yeah, this is coming. It's in quality assurance check right now to get checked out by everybody. But once that comes through out of testing, it'll be live, hopefully later this week. Any other questions, guys? We're making progress. We still working. We got some limits we gonna push. Hopefully you all have been using the meeting prep feature with the frameworks. Hopefully that's been helping you get ready for your upcoming podcast and speaking gigs with our suggested topics. If you're using templates, we now have we'll automatically put the people's names into your templates. So you could automatically add the variables for the templates. Those are automatically there now. Anything else before we end for the day?
No, just wish us well in voting today.
Oh, you got to vote? Who you voting for?
Yeah, before, I'm not telling that.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about, is it for president? Is it
President
for
or Prime Minister, Canadian Prime Minister?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know how Canada works,
All right.
I didn't know if y'all was voting for the Queen or what,
No, stop it. We are voting here, and we have a temporary one, and then it's like I said earlier on, it's crazy because of the cross-border stuff, but we're gonna do right by ourselves. And that's why everybody's calling to say, get out there and stuff. But before you leave, Ron, can you please just put in the chat the template for the one page? Because like I said, since I did that Facebook thing, I'm getting a lot of requests for that one page. I know, like I told Ange, that Raquel did do one for me, and for some reason I can't find it anywhere.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah? Thank you.
Here you go. I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody who wants it. Let's see.
And do you have time to share someone's that you think is awesome? Like a one page?
I mean, it's in a template. So
it's in a template, so it's going to come out. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just again, it's not the world's greatest one, but it's one that's better than nothing. All right. So here's one that we use.
Speaker one sheet. Okay.
1 second. I'm trying to find the share button. What the heck? How do you share on this thing?
Can email it to me, Ron?
Yeah, I'll have to email it to you because I don't know how to share.
You have my email, right?
Oh, here it is. I got it. Here we go. Right.
Oh,
so here it is because I know other people are going to ask for it. So let me just put it in the chat.
Let's see if I can
So there's one. That's the first one that we use, and then we have another set that we use also.
Oh, this looks fancy dangle.
I don't know what fancy dangle mean, but cool. Sounds Canadian.
Now how do I get out of the chat? I was hoping you couldn't find it, so you'd have to email it to me. Anyway, it's there right now. So
but yeah, so there you go. I just put them both in the chat.
Let me see if I find it now again. Yep. Okay, good. I have to get it out. Okay, do I have to have all those colors and everything on it? Damn, it looks good.
So we gave you 5 of them that you can choose from.
Oh, you gave me another set? Okay. Let me take this one out too. Okay.
Yeah, the first one is more fancy though.
It's more fancy dangle, eh?
Yes, fancy dangle.
And you know me, I need an assistant to be fancy. I told you all from I started here, this kind of stuff ain't Jasmine stuff. Put me somewhere to speak and you can't shut me up. for creating this, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best.
Yep.
You got it,
So,
Destin.
but
It'll
but
be
there you
fine.
go. So
You
you
got it.
should have the templates that you need.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys need from me? I saw Michael raised his hand. Go ahead, Michael. You were going to say something?
No, I didn't know I raised my hand.
Okay, no, I saw you unmute, so I didn't know.
No, that's okay. But I did send you a message.
Okay, perfect. I'll check it out. Yeah, good to see everyone. Let me know if there's anything.
I missed Friday because I was in prison. I was doing a prison ministry.
Mhm.
And so I didn't count that as a win, even though I think it's a win, but it's not a paid gig, obviously. Talking to a bunch of prisoners all weekend. And then tomorrow I'm talking to a bunch of kids. So I'll miss tomorrow's.
So Michael asked me a very important question, and I never get to talk about this because it just never came up. And I want to give credit to someone by the name of Nancy Solari. And Nancy has been one of our biggest supporters at Speaker Hub and what we do, but I've never given her kudos up front. Nancy was very instrumental in a lot of the design work that we did with Speaker Hub, because the original Speaker Hub Pro wasn't very accessible for blind people. And Nancy is blind, and she told me, she said, look, your monthly fee is not what it costs for me to use this thing. It costs your monthly fee plus my assistants that I have to pay $20 an hour to come help me to use it when you're not available or when they're not here. So you should work with me on making this as accessible as possible for all of our different software tools that we use that are doing screen reading and things of that sort. And forgive me if I'm not using the proper words, because I don't know the right things, but I know I'm grateful for what Nancy has done to help us to make this more accessible to everyone. And I mean, I owe her a lot. So Michael, hopefully it lives up to at least 60% of your expectations. But I want to thank Nancy from getting us from zero accessibility up to where we are now.
Great.
Right. So we have worked with Nancy on this. She worked with me. I mean, we would meet every week for 4 months, just getting emails. This doesn't work. You said this thing was here, but I can't think of the name of the system that she uses, but it doesn't recognize this button. You have all of these icons instead of buttons. My system doesn't know what this icon means. Can you make that a button instead with words on it? All of these things came into play. It even came up in the conversation with our team this morning about getting rid of icons and going back to buttons. So I can't promise you that we're perfect, but we're better. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yep. So we know it is accessible. We know it is usable. We know Nancy uses it on a regular basis alone and with her team. So yeah, we try our best.
Well, and when you want, let's chat.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I got meetings today, but I have your information from this call, and Angela has your information. We will set up a time to talk, and we'll go through it. And I'm open to any feedback that you have, and working with you to make sure that we can get you on more stages.
Perfect.
All right. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.